Hello warmongers and warmongeresses. We are here in the Breakout scenario, which is a Pala mission. And I decided that this time I would actually just use Pala equipment. So there's a lot of aircraft that are accessible to us. Fortunately, the compass is. So we're picking that, and we're going to do a very straightforward, very basic approach to opening the strait, which is currently blocked by 2 corvettes. We're gonna fly straight at them. And send it. Now, most people use runways to take off, but taxiways are just as valid, and sometimes you're in a hurry, which is my case right now. And I'm already pointed at the right direction, so can't be bothered, sorry. We're gonna have to approach them very low, otherwise they're just gonna shoot at me non-stop. There you go. But we are under their radar right now. Their radar is up top the ship, and yeah, the radar just looks up because that's where the sky is. So if I'm lower than the ship's radar, that low, yes, then they can't see me. At least that's the theory. So you can see my assortments of missiles here. On top of that I have AGM-68s inside the plane. And check out what I'm gonna do. I selected the 48s first. Now I'm sending a cloud of 48s. That's gonna saturate them, but that's the actual payload. The 68s have enough explosives to do a lot of damage to them. Those have to get through. And they probably did. Oh shit. That's gonna be a close call. Phew.
Right engine
Oh,
fire.
damn it. Still flying? Still flying. Now, let's hide. Okay, still flying, but really funny. Brilliant. Well, that's the good thing with Pala aircraft, is that they have 2 engines, more often than not. And you can fly with 1 engine. BDF engineers take notes, eh? Alright, so stay low. They have a battery of long-range air defense that is just gonna light us up if we go high. Oh, she looks terrible. But I think I can land. I mean, my entire left wing is as good as new, so that's all you really need. Now for the next mission, given that we are stuck with Pala aircraft, I don't have access to any cheap fast jets. I'm gonna have to go straight for the Ifrit, which is good in a way. It's a bit of a huge gap to jump when you're flying Pala from the compass to the Ifrit.
Raise gear.
The Ifrit is basically the price of I don't know, 10 compasses. Let's see if I can bring this one home. Yeah, we're good. It actually flies even easier. I mean easier at low speed. There you go. Nice and soft. No, wait. Oh, damn it. Okay, it's really hard to fly when you don't see where you're going. This thing is rated for a rough takeoff and landing, so no problem. The grass, it can take it. The Ifrit not so much, but let's get into it, the Ifrit. Now, I'm gonna take what might seem to some a pretty atypical load. So a couple of 68s, obviously, these are very useful, but some cluster bombs as well. This is once again going to be anti-ship mission. and I'm taking cluster bombs. We do have access to anti-ship missiles. I just don't like those. They don't work that well. The cluster bombs, they work wonders. You'll see. I'll explain. But like later, when I actually drop them. It's easier if you can see what happens. Now, the easiest way to do this particular flight mission, we're going to be up against 4 corvettes that are coming from the north up there. The easiest way would be... Wait. Okay, you're going out. The easiest way would be to take Medusa and 4 jammers for the 4 corvettes. Yeah, let's drop a bunch of flares on his face. Yoo-hoo! I bet he enjoyed that. And so you take off with 4 jammers. That means there's only space for 2 missiles. You destroy 2 corvettes. You fly around. You do that at a very safe distance. You land your rearm, and you take off again and take care of the 2 remaining ones. It's just that's a bit boring. So we're taking the Ifrit. Another good pick for this mission would have been the Tarantula in its gunship configuration, and you can just lay waste to them from a safe distance, already in a notching position. It's quite satisfying to do. Hello. Maybe I'll do a BDF version of this where I demonstrate that at some point. But today it's Palace time to shine, and we can't sit the Ifrit out. Getting near. Bombs away. So they're gonna shoot missiles at the bombs, right? But they're gonna open before the missiles connect. Okay, that's fine. We're undercover. That's, yep, behind the island. And then all the cluster munitions are just too many. They can't shoot them all down, and the corvette isn't that strong. So some of the cluster munitions are usually enough to... Damn it! Wow, almost black veiled here. I got out of the island's cover. Let me return over there. Yeah, just some of the cluster munitions are enough to take it out of commission. This one was the furthest one. It had the most time to defend itself. It probably shot down most of the cluster munitions, but it's smoking a bit. It definitely got some. So we'll finish it up with the 68. A very short-range thing. Here, we're not even gonna fly away. Let's do something a bit dangerous. Oh no! I popped up a bit late. We missed the firework. And we still have 2 missiles. Should we go home? Oh, the enemy base hasn't been reconned yet. I could do a quick pop-up for... yeah. So, 1 pass, quick pop-up. Find out where they are. Second pass where I'm probably gonna try to eliminate their radar, the one on the long distance air defense that I talked about earlier. This is super annoying. It prevents you from flying high, and flying high is, you know, useful often. So yeah, let's get rid of that radar. Let's attempt to get rid of that radar. Oh, someone found out the buildings, but no, I need the radar. We're reducing throttle because at very high speed the jet isn't so maneuverable. And oh, the radar pinged me, which gave away its position. And I'm hiding behind a hill. Yeah, here's his missile, completely blind. It's gonna smash into the side of a hill. Bam. So yeah, I just said I reduced speed because I want to be maneuverable, and at high speed you aren't really. That's the happy speed of the Ifrit, around Mach 1, 0.8. Alright, It's 268. At this distance, there's no way to dodge that. Let's see if I survive it though. Oh, that's short range. Come on, come on. Ah. Alright, full speed, and normally their missiles wouldn't be able to catch up with me. That does make sense. The missiles started from a vehicle. They have to start from 0 kilometers per hour, and they don't have a very long burn time. And that's me exiting the front line at Mach 1.15. Check this out. Supersonic. So now we're going to have to sink more boats. This is really a boat sinking mission. We just did corvettes so far. Now we have to keep doing corvettes, but they have a frigate backup. That frigate is a bitch to deal with. It's got really good missiles. If this frigate can see you, it will target you, and you won't be able to do anything other than explode, I suppose. Yeah, you will be able to explode, no problem. But we want to avoid that, don't we? That's a pretty steep approach, isn't it? Let's see if we can still land nice and soft. Hopla. So, the trick of using the cluster bombs on boat is gonna work just as fine on this pass, so I'm probably just flying the same loadout, just a little bit less fuel because we're going a bit less far. It just makes you lighter, right? Lighter is better. Accelerate faster. You turn better. Now this time I can't go straight at them head on like before. Whoops. There you go, sorry. Because the frigate is right behind them. It will just light me up. I have to approach from a place that the frigate cannot see me. So I'm heading inland. There's supposed to be 4 of those. Okay. Was one already shot down? I found that unlikely. Yeah, so I'm going inland a little bit so I can use terrain occlusion. Not so much to protect myself from the frigates, from the corvettes, because though that is nice that they're not shooting at me right now, but it's really to break line of sight with the frigate. I don't want it seeing me. It can't see. Yes, the fourth one. If it can't see me, it won't be able to shoot at me, which is a philosophy that works very often in real life as in this game. I'm gonna make a pretty large detour because there's a very flat beach right next to where they are right now, and I don't want to be caught on top of that very flat beach where they can see me. So we're going all the way around, staying sort of low, hugging the terrain. Actually, I'm gonna keep my cluster bombs for later, you know, for the frigate. Try to knock them out with missiles. Because if I use my cluster bombs now, the missiles aren't going to be very useful against the frigate, so... Okay. And take that. It's not great. I was a bit far when I shot the missiles. I didn't have as much proximity. So we're gonna have to use the bombs now. They can see me, they're not shooting at me. They might be out of defenses, but yeah, let's not take any risks. We'll hide behind terrain, pop up at the right second, drop some bombs on them, and fly away. It's 6 kilometers, it should get a little bit nearer maybe. Wait, bombs? Okay. I had the missile still selected. Yeah, they're not shooting at me, so they don't have missiles, so they can't do anything against my bombs. And this is what it looks like. Have a look at the display. Yeah. About this one. This one was a bit more successful, but it still ended up at the bottom of the strait. Let's get those guys now. So there's an aircraft carrier and a frigate. The frigate is the most heavily defended, so we'll start with it. We're going to hide behind terrain, pop up at the last second, and drop a cluster bomb on it. If it can't shoot the cluster bomb before it opens, it's gonna hit a handful of cluster bombs. That's probably not gonna sink it, but it will destroy all the weapons on the surface of the boat, and then I can sink it. Okay. That's fine, that's fine. We can dodge this. Look at the display. Oh yeah. Well, I think an ammunition crate or detonator or something that might actually sink it. So I was able to dodge a radar missile, probably because the missile had just taken off. It had no energy, and I did a terrible job jamming it. But I was fast. I was chinking left and right. I think the missile just couldn't turn and overshot. Now, same thing for the aircraft carrier. There you go. Hold this, my dude. We're going off to the side, and we're gonna have to be dodging missiles now. Wait, my bomb didn't... Okay. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. That's not fine.
Left engine fire. Right engine fire.
Look at that. It has nothing. I think I deployed my bomb too late. I was like 1 kilometer or something. I might have been within the minimum range. Yeah, deploying too late definitely was a stupid idea. Got me shot and got the aircraft carrier not blown up. Now, Pala mission, we are flying the Alcyon, aren't we? So I'm taking a bunch of Auger bombs for the aircraft carrier. 4 of them is complete overkill, but some might get shot down on the way down, and yeah, let's grab some regular gravity bombs. Might as well hit the base after. We're gonna make use of the jammers. Normally my cluster ammunition would have taken care of the missile launcher and the radar of the aircraft carrier, but completely failed that, so I'm gonna have to be jamming all the way. And yeah, with the oh, someone's having fun over there. But there might be nothing left for me to bomb at the airbase. They didn't get the aircraft carrier though, it was more on the right. Yeah, with the compass, the Ifrit and the Alcyon, I think it's a good showcase of the capabilities of Pala that we are giving here. Yeah, aircraft carrier still there. You can see it, look at him. Just nagging us on the display. Oh wait, if I can see it, you can see me. I'm gonna start jamming it already. I love the theme for the Alcyon. Listen to this. Now, we're not going to go straight at it, we're going to approach it from the east, because we want to be... I mean, the base is just got nuked, granted, but it probably is still defended, and I don't want to deal with like the defenses from the base. So the base is west of the aircraft carrier, we're approaching from the east. We're also gonna get high and fast. They don't have long-range air defenses anymore. I mean, they still do on the aircraft carrier, but I'm jamming it, so haha. High and fast, that'll just give a lot of energy to my bombs. Man, those directional jammers might mean that the Medusa go to BDF in the end. And Pala gets no dedicated AWACS. I like that actually. It makes the game very asymmetric. Very different experience depending on the faction. So, getting a high and fast is good because it means the bomb arrive on the target very fast. Now that does help with wrecking things, but the main advantage is that it leaves less time for their Seawees to shred them to pieces. They enter the range of the Seawees, and 1 second after they are on the deck. So we get very high, I mean very fast in particular is important. Okay, 20 seconds before release, counting in my head. 11 seconds, okay. And voila. That's 4 bunker busters on their way to first. That's fine, that's fine. I know I have 4 afterburning engines, but the plane is constructed very smartly. It has shielding, heat shielding, so the heat signature is actually very good on this aircraft. And yeah. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, they go through the deck first and they explode inside the boat. That aircraft carrier is definitely going to the bottom of the ocean floor right now. Alright, the base got nuked, but the base lives on. Let's finish it. Now the Alcyon doesn't have a huge capacity, so yeah, I only have 10 bombs left. There's 15 targets. I'm gonna have to be selective. Let's see. Oh my, that thing is fast. We're already above the base. And supersonic bomb release. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Now look at the display below, and yeah, there's still a lot left there. But hey, let's leave some for my fellow pilot comrade things. Let's go land, we're empty. Now, the mission's basically done, right? We sank their entire fleet. That base is 3/4 wrecked. There's a column of vehicle on their way. Here, there's a Dark Reach cleaning up after the mess we made. Maybe I can take an Ibis and be faster than be faster than the vehicles. Then we get to see Pala helicopters as well. There you go. Got out of the runway for you. There's basically nothing left. Well, it's not over until the fat lady sings. I like this bird in the way that you can kit it out very offensively, but take a couple of soldiers in the back and still capture the base once you're done wrecking it. The PDF equivalent, sort of, the Tarantula can't do that very easily. You can load the artillery gun and the vehicle, but the vehicle is going to make you very heavy. You're not very combat worthy. Whereas you just have like, what is it, 6 soldiers in the back. That doesn't weigh much. And really, all the missiles I took with me, just in case, let's say. Yeah, they're gonna get there before me, man. Still have planes in the air. And that concludes it. Let me know.